Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between MakaPrime and CheckPrime here on Kulas Ravine. Here we have MakaPrime spawning as the blue Terran player. Meanwhile, we have CheckPrime spawning over here on the top right hand side as the red Zerg player. This is a clan practice battle here on Kulas Ravine. Should be a pretty interesting match. Special thanks to the Prime team for giving me this replay and this shoutcast, and this shoutcast is sponsored by LU Computers. Go ahead and check out their website for StarCraft 2 tested computers. There's a link on the top right hand side. So now we have MakaPrime going to go ahead and open up with a standard 10 supply depot. We're taking a look back over at Check. Is he gonna? Yes, he does look like he's going. No, he's not going for the extractor trick. He may be trying to go for maybe an 11 extractor trick, getting a large amount. Yeah, he's gonna do the 11 extractor trick, but I don't think he'll be doing the 12 extractor trick, as this Zerg cocoon is going to be hatching into an Overlord in just a moment. We'll see if Check tries to do any scouting with this Overlord, or if he's just going to be doing doing any scouting with drones. Excuse me. Back over here, we now have an SCV moving now. Going to go ahead and scout in the counterclockwise direction. Over here, we do have this barracks now being placed down. Terran players generally like Kulas Ravine just because you can wall off your base with just one supply depot and one barracks. It works out very, very well. You can later then lift off and then throw down your tech lab or your reactor right in this position, throw in another supply depot, and then throw another supply depot a little bit over here, and so that way the banelings do not splash both of those buildings. Back over here, SCV scouting out in the wrong direction will not be able to find his opponent just quite yet. Now going to go ahead and scout to the 2 o'clock position and will find Check. So Check now throwing down a spawning pool, already has the extractor up, so already gathering gas. He will be able to get that speeding boost in just a moment as well. As soon as this spawning pool is completed, I think it's going to be like 2 or 3 more trips on that gas in order to get the necessary 100 gas for that metabolic boost. We should also be seeing a queen being trained up, as there's already an overlord. So yeah, we may see 4 quick zerglings followed by a queen and a metabolic boost. So that would be a very, very strong opening indeed. There we go. Gonna go ahead and train. No queen yet. There we go. There's that queen. There's that metabolic boost. And there are those zerglings. So zerglings now being produced. We already have a reactor now being thrown down by Maka. Maka has 1 marine sitting here, and there is this reactor that is in this position here. And now also throwing down a second barrack. So a 2 barracks build now coming in. All of this off of 1 reactor. So not going into the standard 1-1-1. Or sorry, the barracks into the factory, as the factory is a very, very strong building against Zerg players, being able to throw down those siege tanks and being able to handle roaches and hydras both. We already see Check now throwing down a hatchery over here at the natural expansion. So at the natural expansion, Check getting this hatchery. Now Zergling is quickly going to take down this SCV over here, and now leaving 1 SCV to activate this Naga Watchtower. Most likely going to have another Zergling go activate this Naga Watchtower, and I do believe that Check still does not know where Maka is. He may deduce that it is on the bottom left hand side, just because there is no front door seal here. And there he goes. He does see this. Zergling's going to try to pressure on that reactor, but that reactor too well, and too many hit points, and this 1 marine will be able to shoot down and take down all of those marines very easily. We do have 2 additional barracks is now being thrown down, so this may be a reactor into we should probably see stim pack being researched, and maybe the combat shield as well, as we are now training up a lot of marines, some marauders for a little bit of meat, and also some more marines off of this. So all of this still off of 1 gas. Taking a look at the harvester count, we have 23 harvesters for Check versus the 19 harvesters for Maka, but Maka has a stronger economy just because he is not mining off of this gas here, and with also those additional mule. So that mule really making up the difference of 5 or 6 workers. There is 1 overlord sitting over here from Check, and this front door, all he really sees is this barracks with that reactor. So he knows that he's trying to mass up marines, but he doesn't know about these 2 additional buildings over here. Stim pack about what, a third of the way through, so it should take a little bit longer. And meanwhile, we should also see the combat shield being researched as more supply depots now being thrown down. We do have the baneling nest that has been completed by CheckPrime. So Check with that baneling nest may try to do a front door bust, and this bust is going to be very, very easy to break just because there's only 1 supply depot and 1 reactor here. If those banelings hit in exactly finally this position should be able to deal damage towards the barracks, towards the supply depot, and also towards this reactor, taking down all 3 buildings and really opening up this front door. Now we already saw the banelings who were trying to do a little bit of a push, but then because of that, Overlord was able to catch sight of this army now already moving out, and now in comes this very, very strong army of Marines and Marauders to do a little bit of engagement. I do not see Burrow being researched, as we are not at yet tier 2, so without tier 2, those banelings are just going to have to try to suicide themselves and be able to handle this army. That is a very large army, 1350 against a 550 army. These Marines and Marauders now dealing damage. Zerglings coming around trying to get into the back position. Will these Marauders be able to get in that damage? And wow, very nicely done. This whole entire attack force pretty much gone. Only 2 Marauders left. And now CheckPrime with a 300 mineral army versus MakaPrime's 300 mineral army. And Maka really needs to be concerned now. He really needs to change up that strategy, as he knows his opponent is going banelings. And with now 10 Zerglings being trained, and we are still not going to tier 2, only running off of 1 gas. So CheckPrime only running off of 1 gas, still able to get a lot of banelings in that engagement. And now the metabolic boost Zerglings will start pecking away at these destructible rocks over here. It is very difficult to take down these rocks in particular, because the Zerglings are not able to get a full surround on it and not being able to get into this position. So only about 7 Zerglings are able to attack at one time. Same thing over here at these rocks. These rocks are now just going to get pecked away as well. We do have the combat shield now being researched. So finally those Marines will have an extra 10 hit points as these Marines are taking down these backdoor rocks. And this may be a blessing in disguise, as he's going to be able to come up here. But if these Zerglings are able to take down these rocks at the same time as these Marines, no, Marines with that Marauder help will be able to take down these rocks much more quickly. And with these rocks gone, Marines need to run up very, very quickly and try to protect this expansion. Otherwise, that back door is going to be exposed, and those Zerglings will be able to just straight run in and take down a lot of those SCVs. Destructible rocks already down to 400 hit points. Marines now coming away are clicking on that rock, seeing that, and now those Marines able to get a couple quick shots off on those Zerglings. Zerglings unable to deal enough damage, and those rocks down to 300 hit points will stay in place. So a little bit of a lucky play by Maka. If Maka was just a second or 2 late, or maybe 10 or 20 seconds late, this northern expansion, even though it's on the high ground, would be fairly exposed to Zergling harassment. Back over here, Czech now getting additional extractors, so going to go into 4 gas play. 4 gas play over here, and now sitting at tier 2. Production wise, we do see Aspire, and now training up an overseer for that changeling, and also for that contaminate, perhaps trying to deny any of those production buildings. So Marines now sitting over here, 1 overseer able to come into here, and now is he going to come in and try to contaminate or drop a changeling for some scouting information? Not yet sure. So it's still working out fairly well as these units continue to be trained up. Zerglings were trying to do a little bit of pressure here. 1 Zergling getting taken down. Marine now with that stim able to go engage, try to take down some of these Zerglings. Marine now pulling back. That stim pack should be almost done. No stimming again, and now shooting at more and more Marines. Maybe able to get a couple quick kills there. Yeah, we see that 1 Marine now just getting more and more kills. For some reason, these Czech Zerglings just holding position, and now down goes that Marine there. So finally, Czech now trying to take this yellow high yield mineral expansion over here at the 3 o'clock position. Taking a look at the harvester count, we have 46 harvesters for Czech, 35 for Maka. So Maka is still going to be having a little bit of an issue as this 1 overseer. Is he able to get off a contaminate? No, not able to get the contaminate off. So will not be able to stop any of the production buildings here. We do see no changelings yet either. As these Marines and siege tanks moving out, Marines going to now shoot down this 1 overseer. Yeah, overseer down to 56 hit points, 57 now trying to pull away, but more Marines getting underneath it, and down it goes, just splattering into Zerg blood. Banelings now being hatched over here. The Banelings do not have the centrifugal hook, so they are not upgraded, as now we have a couple of quick scanner sweeps. Siege tanks sieging up, and that's a very, very bad position for them. Oh, very nicely done though. Those siege tanks were able to take down those Banelings before those Banelings were able to explode on this Marine Marauder army. We should have some more Banelings now trying to be morphed in over here, as we also have a fair number of Mutalisks, but those Mutalisks are not going to be a strong counter towards the number of Marines and Marauders that I'm seeing. Production wise, 11 Banelings, 26 Zerglings, and 1 Queen. All of this only off of 2 hatcheries, so very nicely done. Over here, finally, Orbital Command still trying to, not training up some SCVs, so it looks as though Maka is still behind in terms of the whole entire economic game, only sitting at 38 harvesters, compared to the Zerg's 46. Over here, Starport now finally being laid down. We should see perhaps a reactor trying to get some medevacs as this Marine and Siege Tank army now going to engage once again. We do have the centrifugal hook, so these banelings just going to come in here and splash and try to deal as much damage, getting a ton of splash damage there. And those all of those Siege Tanks have been destroyed army-wise. We still have a very, very large army here, and without that stim pack, this is going to be very, very difficult for these units to be able to rush through. We have more banelings still trying to be morphed, drones now pulling away. This hatchery very, very low on hit points. Zergling's now going to be trying to come around and being able to come in from the side. One of those banelings unable to get enough splash damage, trying to get within that 0 range and trying to just die right there, just detonate. No, not detonating. And now more of those Marines continue to push back there, and finally this whole entire attack force has been pretty much neutralized. There are some Mutalisks now in the area. Mutalisks now trying to pick down some of these Marauders. Down goes one Marauder, another Marauder sitting over there, but Czech is not going to try to take that out. The hatchery was destroyed though, so now Czech only running off of one hatchery, now transferring all of his drones to his high yield gold mineral at the 3 o'clock position. Mutalisks out and about trying to snipe down some more units. We do have 7 Mutalisks in the air, so those Mutalisks are going to be joining in with this army and trying to start harassing, perhaps trying to take down some of the reactors or even come into here. We do have missile turrets now coming in, and that missile turret placed down just in time for that Mutalisk to really not be able to deal any serious damage. Marines sitting over here as well, but that missile turret with that very, very fast attack speed essentially deals 4 times the amount of damage than a Marine, and also has 1 extra range. Back over here, we now have these Mutalisks coming in, so these Mutalisks perhaps will be able to come in to this side and start taking down some of the production buildings, maybe take down some of the supply depots, start supply locking Maka. And now these Mutalisks, unable to engage as there's still a large batch of Marines. We do have a medevac now being trained, so those medevacs and we'll be able to heal up those Marines, and they'll be able to use stim packs more freely, as there are now more centrifugal hooks banelings in the middle of the map. Zerglings now gathering in the center as well, as we have this Mutalisk army. Taking a look at the army sizes, both sides fairly even, 2125 versus a 2200, and we also have a hatchery down over here. Hellions trying to do some harassment. These Mutalisks need to catch up to those Hellions, make sure that now Maka really sees this high yield mineral expansion over here, really be able to deal enough damage, able to get off 2 drone kills, and that is it. But the more important thing is that Maka now knows about that high yield mineral expansion and may try to pressure it, perhaps with a medevac and some Marines or even some siege tanks. Back over here, we now have these Mutalisks continuing to fly around the map, perhaps trying to make sure, making sure that there is no high yield mineral expansion over here, and now going to try to deal some damage here, taking down that 1 Marine very, very quickly, and now going to go after some of these SCVs. Need to make sure that they're out of range of that missile turret. There is 1 Viking, however, so that 1 Viking with that range of 9, able to get a lot of quick shots off, and now 1 round of splash attack onto that Viking. Viking now taking down to 53 hit points. Mutalisk trying to get and just try to micro itself and try to take down that last Viking there. Back over here, we do have a reactor now double training medevacs. We have the natural expansion once again reestablished, and we also have the high yield mineral expansion, or the high ground mineral expansion over here at the, what I'll say, the 2.5 position by Czech. So Czech really getting a strong army, should have the stronger economy as well, except for the fact that he has less SC or less workers than Maka. So Maka is still in a stronger dominating position. It looks as though Maka wants to take this high yield mineral expansion, going to take these siege tanks, blast away at this army, and then perhaps lift off an orbital command center into this position over here. 1 Viking trying to shoo away the rest of those Mutalisks as these Marines once again pulling back. We are getting the level 1 armor upgrade for those Marines, and now the level 2 attack upgrades for those Zerglings. We are also training up some Infestors, so those Infestors are going to be very, very strong as well. Back over here, stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Maka and Czech here on Kulas Ravine.